Last thing I need is my little.
Welcome back, DNA Strand crew, to the newest episode of Stardom Situm Saturday here on the Dynasty DNA Podcasting Network. I'm your host, TJ Blake. You can follow me over on Twitter at FFTJBlakeDNA. And tonight, I'm joined by my co-host of the Dynasty DNA Morning Show and from Whistle to Whistle, Justin Tessier Teixeira. Follow him over on Twitter at Teixeira91. Teixeira, you ready to talk about some week 6 NFL action here? You know, we had a great week 5, a lot of stuff going on. We're starting to get into those bye weeks. Last week, there was the first week. Now we're headed into the second week of byes. A lot to take on here. You ready to roll and see what kind of start-sit options we have here for week 6?
Absolutely. I'm looking to analyze these bye week fill-ins and these injury fill-ins because that bug is just mercilessly running through this league left and right.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. And, you know, we talked about the injuries. Hopefully that's something that gets stemmed the tide of a little bit because it does make it hard. You know, sometimes you get forced into making a trade maybe you don't want to make. If you are a contender, sometimes, you know, you lose a player you can't replace. I mean, we know how it is in Superflex leagues. I'm down a couple quarterbacks, and it is tough to claw your way out of that. So a lot of great stuff to talk about here today. We're going to provide all the best start-sit options here from an NFL perspective. And let's go ahead and start it right now, Teixeira, for fantasy football. Start 'em, sit 'em. We're going to start out with the quarterbacks like we always do. Quarterback, you're looking to start here in week 6. Who are you going to go with this week?
I think I'm ready and confident coming off the bye week and fresh and recharged and looking to make up some ground in the north from those teams that got some wins over the last weekend. I'm going to go with Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I know it's low hanging fruit. We talk about all the time about that Bengals secondary, but I really thinking that this is going to be a great week for them playing against the Bengals team with a new quarterback in town, so they might start off slow, but I don't think that'll be the case for Love and the Packers. I think they'll be slinging the ball over the place because now I think is the time after a bye week to really get those rookies rolling. Let's see how what Savion Williams can do. Let's see what Matthew Golden's ceiling can be, and let's really unlock. If I'm Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, those players and those receiving options, and let Tucker Kraft carry his way into the end zone for them when they get in close.
Yeah, I love the call out. And look, I mean, it's not so obvious, right? Like, we all love Jordan Love, no pun intended. But, I mean, like you said, it is kind of low hanging fruit with the matchup. You might think that way. But, you know, one quarterback leagues, you might have Jordan Love and someone else that's very
Okay.
comparable, right? Like, and
Mhm.
if you do, you know, I'm like you. I got to play him this week. This Cincinnati Bengal defense is just absolutely atrocious. And you're right. I think we're going to see more from him. We're going to see more out of the Green Bay receiving core, maybe some of these young guys, hopefully getting them involved. I like that call out as well. And look, I love this Green Bay offense. I want pieces in it. Jordan Love's always been a guy that I feel so underrated, especially in Superflex, right? I mean, like, you get a Jordan Love, Jared Goff combo, you get a Jordan Love, Kyler Murray combo. Like, I know you can compete with that every year, right? Like, I mean, as long as you have a guy like that, them steady Eddie guys, I love that call out. So, I think that was a good one to share. I can appreciate that. Now I'm going to go over one here that I think that you will like as well. It's going to be Matthew Stafford going up against the Baltimore Ravens this week. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this, right? I like playing Matthew Stafford this week. Now, we always say on this show, we don't always try to go for the obvious ones, right? We could go ahead and say, yes, go ahead and start Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Like, that's obvious. So, you know, if you are in a one quarterback league and you are needy, or if you're in a super flex league, I have no problems. And I think a lot of people, you got to kind of refresh people's minds on this, right? Like, Baltimore's defense always looks scary. It always seems scary. It's kind of the MO, right? People always kind of feel that way, kind of look that way. But I like this matchup for him, man. We've seen multiple players go into Baltimore right now and have fantasy success. You're Jared Goff for one, Teixeira. We've seen
Mhm.
CJ Stroud, who's had a very rough year as far as all around, like not being protected, you know, as far as good fantasy performance. That was the best one we've seen all year from CJ Stroud. So the Baltimore Ravens are definitely having their troubles right now on the defensive side of the ball. It's something that you never think you would say, but it's definitely that way right now. I like Matt Stafford this week coming into this game. I think he's a guy that's capable of giving you a quarterback one finish this week with the weapons that he does have there with the Rams. And look, we know that NFC West division is ultra competitive right now. Like, I mean, we got the Seahawks playing well. The 49ers are winning games with Mac Jones. The Rams are still the Rams. The Cardinals, I mean, are still going to Cardinal. We seen that last week against the Tennessee Titans. And I even said I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, and it sure did. But yes, I am definitely good ahead and going with Matt Stafford this week. I feel like he's a guy that can get me 25 ish points. I think he can hit that ceiling in a game like this. I think a multiple touchdown game is something that you could see on the horizon. If CJ Stroud can do it as bad as things are in Houston, I don't see why Matt Stafford couldn't do it in this offense. How do you feel about that, Teixeira? How do you feel about Matt Stafford in this Rams offense?
I love the call out, TJ. I think that's a very stellar pick for this week because he could be someone like you mentioned that you're pondering, like, oh, do I play Michael Penix against Buffalo, or do I play like one of these questionable, not so obvious quarterback options? You can feel, I think, really reliable and comfortable putting out Matt Stafford there because I'm going to lean on his intellect and his football IQ, and I think that he's got a wounded animal there in the Baltimore Ravens, and I think he's just going to punish them with Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams. Like they're just going to feast. And I think out of the backfield, I think this could be a good game for the backs catching out of the backfield. And maybe we'll see a Ty- Tyler Higbee or Davis Allen sighting, though, in the end zone, too, as well. I just think that Matt Stafford's too cerebral that to pass up this week against the Ravens that are just struggling to find their way.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's strange to say that. Like I said, Baltimore struggling on defense, but it's definitely a trend. And when we talk start sits,
Mm.
that's the thing we talk about, trends and patterns, right? And that's where we're at. So I do like the Matt Stafford play. Teixeira, let's come back over here to you. Running back that you want to start here in week 6. Who you looking at?
Um, I slept on this last night, and I think the spirit of Slib called upon me. And I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna slamash start Ashton Genty this weekend against the Tennessee Titans. I think he's guaranteed a spot in the end zone and hitting the century mark this week against those lowly Titans. I mean, regardless of the Raiders' offensive line situation and their quarterback woes in the passing game, that Tennessee front has been getting bullied around this season so far. They've gone up against the likes of the Arizona Cardinal backfield last week. They're all be able to break one and they got in the end zone. You got J.K. Dobbins earlier against Denver. All these teams have been finding a way to get in the end zone against this Tennessee defense. And I think that Ashton Genty taking the momentum from last week and or even the game before that and just keep riding it out and taking care of a bad defense and a bad team overall. And I think the game script and the narrative for the Raiders is finally going to shift in their favor where they can probably take a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief, and be like, okay, we're not playing with our backs against the wall here. We can instill our way of football. We can get the rookie going and really let him control the pace, no pun intended, and the tempo of this game and really put it in his hands.
Yeah, I like it. You know, Big Culture Bob might be a little bit more salty about this pick, but I think that's a good pick to share. I really do. And you know, they got to get him going, as you mentioned, right? Like this is a game like he's a player that they need. And the fact that look, we got Brock Bowers always dealing with what he's dealing with right now. Seems like Jacoby Myers ain't really in sync with this team or Geno Smith. I mean, I don't know what your analysis is on that, but it just seems like I don't know. Like he just doesn't seem like he wants to be there to me. Like I don't know if you notice that. Is that something that you've noticed with Jacoby Myers?
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers has got this aura. I think I talked about this too earlier in the year on a Whistle Whistle episode that I got a dark look at from you talking about how he's looking on the team and how it's not going to be a, a bright future there in Las Vegas. But I think that's starting to creep in a little bit more. That body language on the sidelines and even that rapport on the field. I think he's probably have him and his agent got an ear and an eye one way out the door, looking for close to this deadline coming and see if anybody wants to buy him or pick him up and get him out of there because I don't think he's happy with this Geno Smith situation and the Raiders like future situation of where he fits into all that.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see how Tennessee responds. Like I'm like you, I
Mhm.
like the matchup, but they did have that big win. You know, we did see them get that big win, so maybe you know they will be playing a little bit harder, but maybe they will, you know, be happy with what they've done and kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. So kind of see the mentality of that team as well. Now, Ashton Jenny, how many points do you think he gets this week to share?
I think it could be a ceiling of 25 and a floor of 18. I think it's going to be, if this gets ugly, it could be a multi-touchdown game for him, and if like he's going to have like 12 points right off the gate. And I just think that that's the best way for the Raiders to get this win. I don't think it's going to be coming on the arm of Geno Smith, that they're going to have to rely on their rookie to take away possessions from Tennessee by holding on to the ball and clock management, and then being able to capitalize when they get in close in the red zone and relying on their running game to shut the door on games. Because as we've seen so far, the what was it, the 5-9 ratio for Geno Smith? I think it's just putting their faith in him and relying on his arm to win them this game is, I don't think, the recipe that Pete Carroll is going to want to do.
No, I agree with you. And like the shame of it is I believe that, Dynasty Dog Mike and myself talked about this on the triple threat. Like, really, who do you go to? Because they really don't have no viable options. Like everyone's like saying, oh, they gotta pull Geno, they gotta pull Geno. And like, I mean, I know it's bad and I agree with
Mhm.
that, but like who are you really gonna turn to that's gonna do much for you? So it's unfortunate. It really is right now, the Raiders offense. But I do like the Jenny call out. I think he's a guy that could definitely really, really pay some dividends for you this week. And I know there's been some disappointment and all that, but I think that you're going to have your moments with him. You just got to
Mhm.
capitalize on the moments. And I think this one could be one of the moments. Now, let's go over here to me for the running back that I'm going to be starting here for week 6. It's a guy that, has been rejuvenated there in the AFC West. It's going to be J.K. Dobbins going up against the New York Jets, Jets. The Jets have allowed the 7th most rushing yards to running backs. I mean, this is just like a matchup made in heaven for a Sean Payton running back going up against the New York Jets this week. J.K. Dobbins is going to get the lion's share of the work. We've seen it. We've known it. It's unfortunate for RJ Harvey owners, the people that put a lot of faith in him. I mean, look, we're not saying that the dynasty stocks are dead or anything like that. Don't hear what we're not saying. We're not saying go out and panic sell RJ Harvey, but J.K. Dobbins is that man right now, is going to be getting the bulk of the work. And this Jets team, and really, even if I have Harvey, I feel better about playing him in a game like this, right? Like if you have no other options, I'm not saying play Harvey, but if you have no other options, this is going to be a game if the Broncos should and probably will get out to a decent lead in this game. They're going to run the football with both of these running backs. I could see them both having really nice days. I think Dobbins is definitely going to score a touchdown. You want to talk about an anytime touchdown scorer? I would put a
Mhm.
lot on J.K. Dobbins this week to find the end zone. A little teaser for the Dynasty DNA morning show there, but I definitely think that he could fall his way into the end zone, J.K. Dobbins, and I think that he's a guy that could sniff around that 20-point mark this week. Now, I think he gets there? I think it's still going to be a little bit tough, but I think 18 to 17 is guaranteed.
Mhm.
I think the touchdown will be there. I think the yards and the attempts will be there in a game like this. And I think this kind of game benefits a player like J.K. Dobbins. And again, like I said, if I have R.J. Harvey, I would feel better about playing him in a game like this than I would in some of these other games. This Jets team is just terrible right now. I mean, they got so many issues going on. They got so many issues going on. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And man, if I'm a Jets fan, it's going to be a long, rough, rocky season. There could be sunnier skies on the horizon. They just got to make the right moves and make the right decisions. Now it is the New York Jets. They don't usually do that. So let's hope that that changes. But as of right now, they are a bad football team. And you can look at their schedule objectively and be like, maybe they don't even win a game. Right now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Mhm.
I think they're going to win, but you can't look at the schedule and say, yep, they're favored to win that one. Like sometimes you can do that, like, oh, they got a real good chance. Like, man, I think a lot of these teams can beat the New York Jets in the state they are right now. So give me J.K. Dobbins. I would play him in a flex if I had him. I'd definitely play him in the running back spot. If I'm a good team, I could put him wherever. Just try to get him in my lineups this week. I think 20 is a good chance of getting there for J.K. Dobbins. Where are you at on that, Tashera?
I love it. I think it's wheels up. Again, it's another international game, and we know how those go. They're like slugfests. They're just really slow moving, low scoring games, and they're very like filled with a lot of mistakes. But I don't think that's going to be in the case of J.K. Dobbins. I think that he's going to run the wheels off of the Jets, and I could see a multi-touchdown game from him. I mean, like Ty tells us about him, he's the Terminator, and he's gonna go full Skynet on the Jets and shut them down. I think that there's no reason why Sean Payton should go away from him and try to get cute by throwing it all over the place with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram and Franklin and all those guys. Like I just you if you look at the Broncos schedule ahead of them too, it's mostly a cakewalk. There's a path to success that they could easily go to win the next 5 straight games. So why jeopardize that by trying to overdo it and put the ball in your quarterback's hands too many times? I'm not trying to say here that Bo Nix is going to be irrelevant and just incompetent to the point to where you can't start him. It's just this is the type of game script where you don't want to risk any assets unnecessarily. Just do what you do best, and that's running the football right now. Maybe you get RJ Harvey a little ingratiated, but you know the guy that's got the hot hand that's running the team, and he's consistently getting double digits for you for fantasy. And I don't see that changing this week against the Jets. It's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And no pun intended, Dobbins is still not broke, so just keep running with him.
He's definitely still not broke yet. I'm with you. Hopefully that continues. And yes, Ty is very happy with his play right now. Another one of the members of the veteran running back clubhouse of Ties. But let's get into some receiver talk here to Shara. I need a wide receiver that you're going to be starting here for week 6. Who do you feel good about this week? Who you going with?
I am gonna go with I think who do I have on my list here? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna go with Mecca Buka. Can we just give this guy the offensive rookie of the year award right now? Because like he's playing absolutely out of his mind, and I think the path to success is just it's inevitable. He's like Thanos for the wide receiver room, and as far as rookies there, you got Baker Mayfield playing out of his mind too, and he's just getting touchdowns and piling up receiving yards. I think with Godwin being out, Otton still not sleeping at the wheel, not really separated himself from becoming like a deep threat or an end zone threat or anything. And I think that with Bucky Irvin being listed out again too, I think the more pressure will go on Rashad White, but not enough. I think this is like a game for Emeka Ibuka to really just take his game to the next level, take that ceiling. And this is a game that they need to win after coming off a loss. I believe it was against the Eagles. And I think that Baker Mayfield is just going to pepper him with targets. I think if it's not a multi-touchdown game, I think this guy can get double-digit receptions. I think he could get to like 12, 13 receptions in this game, and I have a floor of him of 24 points and a ceiling of 28. Like I just think it's going to be one of those games where I don't think that they're going to be able to run that much against the 49ers at home. It's going to be kind of tough sledding. We saw that with the 49ers doing that to the Rams last week, and Matt Stafford throwing it all over the field on them. And I think that Baker Mayfield will exploit that because he's also a cerebral quarterback in his own right. And I think Emeka Buka is his stud, his stallion, his hot one right now, and just keep giving him. It's like NBA Jam rules. He's heating up and just keep giving him the ball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This guy's just been incredible. And, like we talk about dynasty fantasy football, and we're really talking about this show, trends and patterns, right? Like the rich get richer with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like we should have knew if there's an organization
Mm-hmm.
that you have confidence in drafting a wide receiver, it should be Tampa Bay. Like where some of these teams that do it really well, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, like some of these teams really draft wide receivers well. So like if they're going to take a receiver, I feel better about that. When they get a guy in Ohio State's a factory, like we should have known, like as just like dynasty players, as football fans, like everything we know about that connection, like Ohio State, Tampa Bay, like we should have known that we should have put a higher priority. A lot of us, like, not saying none of us liked Ibuka because we all did, right? No
Mm-hmm.
doubt. We're not sitting here saying we didn't like him, but like we should have put a higher priority on him. And it just has been incredible. That Seattle shootout game was just insane. I mean, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. I mean, if someone would have said that back in like 2021, 2022, like everyone would have laughed saying like they would have been in a game like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's funny how fortunes change. And I love Emeka Ibuka. And right now, I mean, he is that guy and he's kind of taken that role. We've seen Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and he's just supplanted them type of guys. It's impressive. It really is for a young guy to come in and be able to do that over a couple guys. of that ilk. Now, I know Mike Evans is hurt, but still, even when Mike was out there, he was feasting, right? So that's what we like to see. Now, you say Emeka Buka. Do you think he could be, a top 3 to 5 wide receiver point scorer again here this week?
Absolutely. Yeah, I put him into that category for sure. I think he's fully capable of it. There's some tough matchups for those other wide receivers in that group of games, but I think that if, it goes to plan, I think it's on him. I think he's fully capable of the ability to do it. It's just whether or not, Baker throws it his way, which he should, and if he catches the ball. Like he's been a very reliable and probably the most consistent fantasy option for us in the wide receiver room this season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I can agree with that. Let's go over to the receiver that I'm going to start here for week 6. It's a guy, man, like Ty. This is like my side's dedicating this to Ty this week. Like, this is for him for week 6. I feel good about dedicating my starters to him here in week 6. Give me Stephon Diggs going up
Ooh.
against the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to tell you what, man, like, it was looking rocky. We know he's coming back off that ACL. That's always a little bit of a cautionary, hesitant thing. Like, I know that the medicine, the surgeries, all that's better. The treatments are better. I get that. But still, it's an ACL tear. It's a serious injury. And a guy at his age, you got to take it seriously. And I'm going to tell you what, I think that Stephon Diggs is a guy that responds when everything positive's going on. Like, he is I like, let's talk. Like, we know receivers are divas, right? And he could be one of them guys, no doubt about it. But like, I think he's more of a diva for win losses than he is just to get the ball. I really
Mhm.
believe that about Stephon Diggs. I think winning is his number one thing. I mean, yes, he wants to help and get the ball, but I think winning trumps over that in his mind. So I love Stephon Diggs this week. He responded so well whenever they beat Buffalo. I think that really turned a lot of things
Mhm.
in his mind, saying, look, we got a good young football team here. I'm happy to be a part of it. I really like my quarterback. I'm going to work hard for my quarterback. And we've seen that. And I mean, you look at it right here over the last, I mean, he just looks like himself again. I mean, over the last 2 weeks, Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson, the only two guys with more targets than Stephon Diggs over the last 2 weeks. So, Drake May's looking his way. He's trying to get him the ball. I mean, just to be in that conversation with them type of players at his age is very impressive. And we know that they have a lack of receiving talent there in New England. So I do think that they're going to try to get him the ball. I like this Saints matchup. And give me a guy that if you're getting that many targets, you're doing something. And I think at one point you could see an explosion out of him. If you're getting them kind of opportunities, it's bound to come, right? And I know the Saints ain't no pushover. I mean, they will play hard. That's one thing about the Saints. They are a bad team for the most part, but they will play you hard. Look what they did with the Giants. They're just not going to lay down for you. But I think that New England's got a little bit of a pep in their step, a little bit of confidence, and I think Stephon Diggs is going to benefit tremendously from that. And I think his attitude, like if you got Diggs' attitude in the right place, he can be someone threatening. And I think New England has that right now. So I'm going to say give me like 16, 17 points for Stephon Diggs this week. I think he has another really good game. I'm definitely going to try to put him in my flex spots if I have him. I don't even mind you have to put him in your receiver spot. Look, we know guys are out. Terry McLaurin, different guys. Like if you need Stephon Diggs for a spot start, I feel really good about it this week after what I've seen the last couple games. How do you feel about Stephon Diggs to share right now? Because it looks like he's really, really a different player at this point.
Yeah, I think going into that Bills game, you got that energy from him. You got that motivation and that inspiration. And when you got, I think that Stephon Diggs is one of those dog players where like you get that big
Hey,
chunk of
Shara, hang on. Your volume's kind of screwy. Hang on. Your volume's kind of screwy. Go ahead and try to talk again.
every good. Or is it
Yeah, it's like real muffled.
real muffled here? Okay. How about now? What if I take it away from here? Are we doing good now, or is it still muffled?
It's still like real scratchy and muffled.
Dang. All right.
Oh,
That's
that's sounding better. That's sounding better.
okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep it short and sweet. I'll just say that, yeah, I think that he's motivated right now. He's got that eagerness coming off that revenge game, and I think that he's just going to uh, keep the streak and the momentum going. And Drake May's got his trust, and he's really separated himself from the other receiving options. And I think he can have himself a big game down in New Orleans.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely can. I'll let you work on that for a second to share. So while you're working at, I'll talk about the tight ends here for a second. There's a lot of great guys. And I mentioned Jake Ferguson a lot this offseason. That's really worked out well. Really happy to see what he's done. But I gotta go with my guy. And it's just like until you give me a reason not to start you over the last couple of weeks, he's really given me a reason to start him. Give me Darren Waller here with the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that, but when this guy gets in the red zone, it's almost like an automatic that Miami's going to go to him. It's, I talked about this. Like, Jonnu Smith was a great benefactor of that. I brought this up. Like, it seems like Miami could do two things on offense consistently well. Like, they will screen it to Devon Achane. They'll get the ball in Devon Achane's hands some way, somehow. Or they will, throw a little red zone tight end pop pass or something to Darren Waller. He's always open down there. It seems like that's where he does his best work. And hey, I don't care. I talk about it. Give me the touchdowns. And the fact that he's, starting to put it together is really, really good. The fact that he's starting to kind of show signs of his old self. So I like Darren Waller this week going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he can be super productive, and I think he has a good week yet again. And I definitely can see him getting a touchdown chance against the Chargers here. The Chargers have not looked like themselves. They kind of fallen into the abyss here a little bit, kind of just like, I don't know what it is with Los Angeles Chargers. They're never a team that can take fully that step forward, and they're a good team, and that's what's so maddening about it, right? But I think that Miami might hang around in this game. I'm not saying they're going to win. I do think the Chargers will beat them, but don't be surprised if Miami hangs around a little bit. And I think Darren Waller, if he gets in the red zone, we know Miami likes to go his way. So give me Darren Waller. I'm going to say 16, 15 points this week. I think he gets enough on little dump off receptions, and I do think he scores again because this is just what we've seen. And I don't think, I'm going to take him out until I see anything differently. How do you feel, Teixeira?
Yeah, I think I know I had my doubts on him earlier in the year coming out of retirement and getting the dust off, but with following the Tyreek Hill injury, he's kind of like quieted those stormy waters there and kind of making you feel a little bit like earlier Darren Waller again. Is he back? I think with the only competition he really has is Jalen Waddle, but that's a coin flip at best from week to week. You don't know which one you're going to get. And I think that Tua is going to probably play a game to win, and he's going to be able to really exploit that Chargers defense because it looks like their body language looks a little defeated so far. And I think that if the Dolphins play some type bully ball and get the ball to their tight end real fast and real quick, that he can do some real damage yards after catch and in the red zone too as a big target. Just get him on a rub route on a post and see just get a nice little easy catch there. So I think this is a nice week for him, and I think double digit points is in his future.
Yeah, I think so too. I love the call out on him. I think that he is a guy that like I said, until you give me a reason not. I mean, every time he's been in the lineup pretty much now for Miami, he's visited the red zone a couple times in the first game there. So, I mean, until we see something a little bit different, if you got to stream now, I'm not saying start him over some of your better quality options, right? Like, you're not going to do
Mhm.
that. But, like, if you're streaming for a touchdown or something like that, if you're really hoping to get a touchdown out of a tight end, you're crazy not to give them a try if you have them. If you have a couple options, I'm just not turning away from them. The Chargers don't scare me. The Chargers
Mhm.
have just been the Chargers, the same old Chargers. It's unfortunate. I love Justin Herbert. I love that team. I like what they're building there with Jim Harbaugh, but you got to build it up. And until they can build it the right way, we're going to see a lot of the same. And a lot of it, too, with them's injuries, right? Like they've just dealt with so many injuries. And I don't know what's going on out there, but it just continues to happen. And it really sets this team back even more. So don't like that. It's unfortunate. But let's talk to tight ends here, Teixeira. Who do you got for a tight end start for us for week 6?
Um, I like Jake Tongues this week in San Francisco against that Tampa Bay defense. I think that these last couple weeks watching him, it's kind of impressed me a little bit, and he's got a little fire playing to him because he got Kittle on the horizon coming back. So I think he's gonna keep wanting to make a statement and impression in that offense that he can be out there in two tight end sets when Kittle's back and still make an impact. I know that they're still battling injury there in the wide receiver room in San Francisco. And it seemed like last week against the Rams, Mac Jones really had his eye and really had his confidence to throw him in close in the red zone areas and just over the middle to keep drives going and extend plays. Like, I think that he's a serviceable tight end this week. I mean, he's no big name, flashier guy that you're going to set and forget. But if you're looking to get someone between like 8 and 14 points in your lineup this week for a tight end, I think he's due for that. I mean, we saw what the Seahawks were able to do against Tampa Bay with their tight ends last week, and I don't think that with Mac Jones playing with his hot hand, he couldn't do any worse than what the Seahawks did. So I'm confident firing up Jake Tongues for another week, but you just gotta know that Kittle's on the horizon. And I think he'll use it as a motivator this week to keep playing well.
And, is there a team better than the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan getting to these guys? They can really plug anybody in any position and it
Hmm.
works. I mean, it just shows you the valuability of coaching, the valuability of organization structure, the way you have a plan, the way you want to play, getting those players that fit the way you want to play. And Jake Tongues is a great example of that. And, honestly, like you said, yes, we got to watch out for George Kittle that will be coming at some point, no doubt about it. But in the short term here, Mac Jones is a guy that obviously likes to target him. We've seen it, and I think history can repeat itself. So I love the call out to Sherrod. Do you think he scores a touchdown this week?
I think he has to. Yeah, I think the just based on necessity and opportunity with all the other options at receiving that are out due to injury or just underperforming. I mean, the only threat I think to him getting a touchdown would be a big Kendrick Bourne, or they're just pounding the rock with Christian McCaffrey. But as far as receiving options go, I think he can get himself at least in there once.
I love the call out. We got a question here from Dylan. Full
Perfect.
PPR. Yeah, full PPR. Team Scataboos here. Start one tight end, Warren, Kraft, or Waller. So, okay, trading one next week. So, first one he has is start one at the tight end spot, Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, or Darren Waller. And I'll start putting these on the stream as they come in now that we got some people joining us here.
Oh, now I can see it. Okay.
Okay, and we got Bob joining us as well. So, Bob,
Hey!
we got a special guest here. We'll introduce you in a second, but we're answering Dylan's question, Bob. If you want to listen, we'll share with you. Full PPR, start one tight end, Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, Darren Waller. Teixeira, who you going with out of that group?
I'm gonna go with Tucker Kraft. I like pair him with my Jordan Love quarterback start of the week. He'll be his top option. I like him out of these other three options.
Okay, so Teixeira is going to stick with the Kraft singles up there in Green Bay. That's we got to start. Dynasty DNA is going to
Yeah.
trademark that because it goes with Green Bay and the cheese. Like we could trademark that now before it gets out there too much. Now, Bob, Tucker Kraft, Darren Waller, or Tyler Warren, you're coming in fresh off the break. There, you got a hot question to start. You're under the fire. You're under pressure. Who you going with there out of them tight ends?
Well, I guess if I don't, but can you hear me? Because it sounded like that sounded muffled. Sorry.
No, we can.
So I guess if I don't go with the old Kraft singles too against the Bengals, then why would we? What are we doing? I think. I mean, Tyler Warren, I think, is earning his place, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna keep getting the targets. Waller seems to be a touchdown machine, so like I think if you needed to go with the second one, I'd go Waller, but.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kraft first.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Give me Tucker Kraft there. He also says one flex, Kendrick Bourne, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Swift. So that's the second question. We got one flex to play, Kendrick Bourne, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Swift. Bob, I'll start there with you on that. Who you playing in the flex out of that group?
Can we flex Waller? I mean, am I crazy there?
I don't think crazy.
I don't know if I like. I mean, Flowers is going to be dealing with Cooper Rush again this week, right? So it's like I don't like that at all. And of that three, that's what I would go with. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe Cooper Rush. What I don't know. I'm trying to remember what Flowers really even did last week with Cooper Rush and the thing. Anyway, was it? Did he finish with 100 yards?
I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. So no, I mean, like I'd almost go Waller if you can do that, but I don't. If not, I don't know, man. That's a garbage bin. Yeah. I guess I'd either go Flowers or Waller and hope that Flowers just get peppered by Rush. But
All right. So Bob's going to say if you can flex Waller, he would do that. That's interesting. Zay Flowers is one. He would say he would start out of that group if you went with that group. Who are you going with there, Teixeira?
I mean, I'm glad Bob popped in and thinking outside the bun there because I didn't even have that on my bingo card. I was going to go Kendrick Bourne, but I clearly would start Waller over Bourne if I had the opportunity to do that in his lineup.
Would you guys consider flexing Warren though? Like I really would. I mean, as you know, Mr. Nice Guy
Who is it
points
playing
out.
Arizona, I think?
Yeah. Arizona's
Yeah.
very susceptible. Now, what I'm saying is like I would still go with Kraft just for the simple fact that
Yeah.
like I think that Jordan Love just has such an eye for him, and there's an opportunity of so many touchdown type drives for Green Bay in a game like that. And if Tucker Kraft would come away with a couple touchdowns, that would be just gigantic. But I would probably go with Warren in the flex. I wouldn't hate that. Like I don't hate playing Waller there, but I mean I would probably go Warren in the flex in that situation. So if I had to play one of them receivers, I'm like Bob, I'll play Flowers, but I would probably go with Warren, but I don't think Warren or Waller would be a bad play in the flex there
Mm-hmm.
if you had to go that route. I'm telling you what, I'm flexing so many tight ends right now, even in non tight end premium leagues because of injuries and things like that, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still getting the results like Hunter
Damn.
Henry. Like I'm playing Hunter Henry in some of them type situations, right? Like if you can get some of them guys, and like they usually get you enough points to keep you right around there. So I like that
I mean,
call out.
the Titans had 8 receptions against the Cardinals to tight ends. Now it was 2 separate tight ends, and Warren had 4 receptions for whatever and a touchdown. I lost the yardage or whatever. So it's like, I mean, but the thing in a nutshell is and man, I don't know what it's been with me in a thing in a nutshell. I've said it about 1.5 billion times lately. I swear. I was talking to my wife and she's like, "Are you going to quit saying that?" I'm like, "I don't know." In a nutshell, probably. Like, yeah, no. So, but like 5 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown for Waller last week, and the targets got consolidated crazily. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't. Whoever Mr. Nice Guy there also says Warren. So it's like,
Yeah,
well, I mean, I think he might have been talking about between the 3 tight ends, but I'm not opposed to starting 2 tight ends.
yeah. I mean,
I said that
I'm
already.
not either. I mean, it's worked for me in some instances. So either route you want to go there. Now, the last one he's got, we'll just rapid fire this one because we got a lot of questions coming in. I want to get to everybody. He said, rank these week 6 quarterbacks, starts in order: Justin Fields, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Sam Darnold. So if you had to rank them guys from start order from best to worst, who you going to go with, Teixeira? I'll start with you. If you had to rank them from best to worst, who you going with there in that order?
I think I'm going Darnold first to start, and then oh crap. I know Kyler Murray and Justin Fields are at the bottom. I don't know what that other option was, but that's my number 2.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young at 2, and then yeah, probably Fields at 3 and Kyler Murray at 4 because Kyler Murray's still battling that foot thing and he was practicing ho hum throughout the week, so that kind of limits his probably mobility if it's still going to be a thing. But we don't know with Kyler Murray what his body language is going to say on Sunday.
That's for sure. We never know that with Kyler. It's unfortunate. The talent's always there, but between injuries and sometimes an attitude thing, it is concerning.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, any difference in opinion than from Teixeira there with them guys? You starting in order from best to worst start options there at quarterback.
So I didn't catch how I even said the names in order. So I'll just go with Darnold Fields, Young, Murray. And I think Murray's just because of the injury. So yeah, I Darnold seems to be doing pretty well. Throw 4 touchdowns last week. He had a fluky interception. Fields is great for garbage time and rushing or whatever. So, no one's as high on Fields as I am, I'm sure, in this 3. I think Teixeira is pretty high on Fields too.
Yep.
But, and then Young is playing the Cowboys, and it's like, it seems like it's real hot or cold there. And Rico Dowdle just can't run for 200 yards every week. I mean, we'd love to see that, right? But I don't know if that's the case. And again, Murray with his injury thing or whatever. And I don't know. I think I've just always been out on Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is tough with the injury. Like, and I agree with your list, Bob. I think that's exactly the way I have it. And it's not that I love Fields. It's just you're right. The garbage time opportunities are there. The rushing opportunities are there. I think Bryce is just going to give you what he's going to give you. That 16-ish point range is
Mhm.
kind of where he's always hovering around. And Kyler, I just don't trust the injury in the way he plays. So I'm with you guys on that. Clay Tunga asks, Kelsey against Detroit or Kraft against Cincinnati? No question for me, Clay. I'm going Kraft. I don't know how. Yeah, Bob's throwing up the
Mm-hmm.
Kraft singles right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I know where he's going. Where are you going, to share Kraft as well, I believe? Just say yes or
Yeah,
no.
I already sent Kelsey off on his Viking funeral. I think he's halfway down the lake right now, about to sink to the bottom still.
You know all about Vikings up there in Minnesota.
They're feeding him to the lions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
AJ asks, should I start Kelsey or Waller? There you go, Bob. Your Waller
Yeah.
shout out. You going to go Kelsey or you going to go Waller?
No, I'm going to go Waller. Like I said, the target funnel between the two guys, and Tua does it. If he can dodge it off to that little, that screen play, or the seam up the middle, Waller seems to be doing. I'm absolutely shocked by how much better Waller's playing than what I expected.
Yeah, and two, we talk about lack of target competition there, right? Like, and that matters. And another team that could be in a garbage time situation, but I said it, the Chargers really don't scare me. Like, I think the Chargers should definitely beat Miami. I'm not saying that Miami's going to win, but the way the Chargers are right now, I can see Miami just hanging around a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I could see them hanging around. I think I'm going to go Waller there too. Teixeira, any difference in opinion?
Not at all. I'll roll Waller out in that situation for sure.
Yeah, I think that's where I would take my chances as well. We got Mr. Nice Guy. Green Bay's going to steamroll Cincy. Yeah, I agree. It definitely don't look good for Cincinnati. Tyler asks, trade Puka, Swift, Ridley for JT, Bucky, Adams, PPR redraft. I have White as a handcuff for Bucky. So you guys see it on the screen. I'll read it again. Trade Puka, Swift, Ridley for Jonathan Taylor, Bucky, Adams, PPR redraft. He has Rashad White as Bucky's handcuff. Bob, I know that you're not a big redraft player. You're more of a dynasty guy, but what trade makes more sense to you there from a dynasty aspect? What side do you like better?
I gotta have something. I gotta have something at wide receiver 2, 3, and 4 if I'm getting rid of Puka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to trust Adams in that situation, but if I have a relatively solid wide receiver room, I don't mind upgrading to JT. But who knows how long Bucky's going to be hurt? And he's not a big guy. If he's hurt for a long period of time, you're just only getting JT and Adams for Puka. I don't. But again, I'm not big on redrafts, so I think running backs probably rule the day more in
Yep.
redrafts. So maybe I'd go JT Bucky and hope that Bucky better come back healthy. I don't care if you got White as your handcuff or not, because if you were excited to have White, you wouldn't worry about trading for Bucky. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, look, I'm going to probably take, the Jonathan Taylor side because you said it, Bob, and that is the truth in redraft. In my opinion, look, if it's half point PPR, it's definitely the running back for sure. Right now, if it's full point PPR, that definitely comes into effect a little bit. But like you're getting two good quality running backs there. I know Bucky's down right now, but I feel good about with what he has. And look, Devontae Adams is a little bit older. He can get banged up. I understand that, but so can Puka Nakua, right? Like we've seen it. I hope that don't happen because there's so many people relying on him, but it's definitely still something that could happen. So I do think I'm going to take those running backs there, and I do think that I'm going to take, the Devontae Adams side there too. Because look, Devontae's given us some good games there with the Rams. He's given us some good production. So I like what I'm getting there. Do you feel any different, Teixeira?
No, I love that you pointed out the injury situation too. That's very important in redraft because you're got a lottery ticket you're playing with. You in this the way I'm doing some house cleaning here. I'm not even looking at Swift or Ridley. Those are just trash bag options. They're just throwing pieces for this trade. You're essentially doing a 2-for-1. You're doing JT and Adams for Puka, and Bucky's the risk variance there if he comes back from his health for his injury or not. And if he does, well then you got a 3-for-1, and you've got depth now, and you're giving up the one, yes, top superstar in the team, the best player in this trade, in my opinion, because it's a full PPR. But at the end of the day, the path and redraft to get to the championship is depth. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need as many bodies as you can. And I feel comfortable sacrificing Puka for a JT and an Adams, and hoping that Bucky comes back early, or comes back healthy, because then you have a lot of depth going into your playoffs. If your record is saying that way, I mean, if you're a 1-4 team here, I mean, this looks a little desperate, but if you're one of those top 4 contenders and you're looking to make that solid push to solidify yourself and punch the ticket into the championship game, I think this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, and look, Jonathan Taylor could be a league winner, right? We talked
Mm-hmm.
about that. Like he's headed in that direction. So, like in a redraft setting, let me gravitate towards that guy and see what happens. Because I don't think that I'm giving up enough at receiver to get stung that badly. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look, Adams or Puka, one of them could get hurt. You're just playing with fire with either one of them. But as far as like taking a step down, I don't think you're taking a serious step down this year where we're at right now. So I would definitely go that side. I don't mind that at all. Kevin asks, Michael Carter or JCM this week, Bob? There's your man, JCM.
Ooh.
We're talking a little
So
JCM.
So it's the easiest question I've seen so far. JCM by 2 miles. Michael Carter's playing against the Indiana Jones and them Colts. Like they're stuffing the running game.
Yeah.
JCM's going against the Bears, and they're terrible. they can't stop a cold. So yeah, no. And JCM's actually kind of lighting it up. I'm kind of surprised. I like Michael Carter though. If you needed him in a flex or whatever, I wouldn't be hesitant or whatever for that. But it's got to be like my flex 2 or 3.
Bob sees a bigger ceiling this week with JCM. Do you agree, Teixeira?
Yeah, I'm shooting JCM to the moon with the McLaurin injury. He's listed out already. Debo's still got a nagging injury going into the Monday night game. He's probably going to be at like 60-40, not fully healthy. So, and you got Jaden Daniels, who's also coming back from an injury and whatnot. So I don't think they're gonna, keep trotting him out there scramble in the backfield like we like to talk about. They got that offensive line for a reason. They're gonna protect their best asset on the field and not put them in silly situations to get hurt again. And I think that JCM just has that energy right now, that fire running the ball. He's like a Cam Scatterbo light. He's running with that energy, and that he just doesn't have that power, but he's got that ability to break one. And I like his chances of doing that against the unbearable Bears than I do Michael Carter trying to do it against Indiana Jones and the Colts.
Let's not forget that our superhero Ashton Genty blew up the Bears. So if he can do it, JCM is going to just light the world on fire.
That's it. Give me JCM. I'm like you guys, along the same reasons. I think there's a bigger ceiling there this week. Kevin also asks, Tongues or Taylor? And for injuries, when do you think these guys come back? Evans, Pearsall, Kittle, Benson, Godwin. So let me just say this. We got Jake Tongues or Mason Taylor. It looks like he's asking, look, I'm going to go with Tongues, right? Like, I just don't trust any part of the Jets offense right now, really. Like Bob said, you're really relying on garbage time more than anything at this point. As we talked, it's a pitiful situation there with the Jets. And, I just see like Tongues being a guy that Mac Jones is going to be a guy that's going to like to have that security, that safety blanket. So I think he's going to go for Tongues more. Teixeira brought it up about starting him this week. And I agree with that. If you're streaming for a touchdown, I think that's a guy I would trust more in that situation. And then as far as the injuries goes, Mike Evans, look, I think that we're going to see Mike Evans returning here probably in a couple weeks. Ricky Pearsall, probably something similar, right? It's
Yeah.
all looking like everything on the list is looking like it's maybe a 2 to 3 week window, Kevin, except for Trey Benson. Like it could be a little bit longer for him. He was placed on the IR, just like a week and a half ago, which we know is a minimum of 4 games. So I think Trey Benson at best you're going to see in 4 to 6 weeks. So that's, where I'm going to go with that. Now, as we continue on here, I know you guys probably agree with me as far as the injury front goes. We don't got to revisit that. But do you like Tongues over Mason Taylor, Bob?
So I was like, which guy got targeted more last week? Because I remember hearing their names a lot. And Taylor actually had one whole target more than so. But I mean, I think Taylor's opportunity to get in the end zone is much worse than Tonjes, or however you guys pronounce it, or anybody pronounces. The footballers keep saying Tonjes McBasketball. I don't know where that all comes from,
What?
so I'm sure he's probably a basketball player. Yeah, so whatever. But I think the touchdown upside and target volume still leans on Tonjes. So yeah, I think I'd go that route if you're only talking about one tight end start. And I don't know if this was part of your question. Like while I was looking, but the injuries, man, I don't know. I was looking around on my wall looking for a doctorate, and I don't have one. So I have no idea. I mean,
You should
I don't want to even speculate.
have a doctorate, Bob. You'd be Dr. Bob.
Yeah.
Like Three Stooges calling Dr. Helfert. We call him right
Yeah.
in there. But let me just say this. I know Teixeira's going to go tongues, right? Like, I mean, he said
Mhm.
to start
Yeah.
him. So I think that we don't got to revisit that. So I know Teixeira's going to stick with his guy for a lot of the same reasons we do. But got another question here for you, Teixeira from Bryce. Should I start Jaden Daniels or Drake May? 4-point TD League ESPN. So first question, would you start Drake May or would you start Jaden Daniels? Now you got to remember 4-point touchdown. That's a
Mhm.
little bit different. You maybe rushing yards do come into a little bit more of a play here, but both guys are mobile. What do you like in this one?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Um, I think I'm waiting on the Monday Night Miracle with Jaden Daniels because it's 4 point. If it's 6 point, I'm smashing Drake May, like because then I don't have to worry about so much of that mobility. Because I just don't think that Drake May is gonna be have to force to run the whole lot against that Saints defense. That's why they got Travion Henderson and Sir fumbles a lot back there to take that load off of him. So I'm gonna lean for the Monday Night Miracle with Daniels, but I just apples to oranges. I like Drake May this week better than I like Daniels.
Okay, but you're going to go Daniels in his
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Okay,
because
because
of the
4
scoring.
point. Yep, the 4-point touchdown coming into effect. That's why I wanted to bring that up. Bob, any difference in opinion? Now, I know you're a Drake May guy. You and Ty, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've always been in your camp. I know Teixeira as well, but you and Ty have been screaming from the mountaintops for Drake May even before he took off. So, what are you going to do here? This is interesting. Does the 4-point touchdown affect your decision there?
Yeah, I mean, I see what I just don't know that Daniels is going to run a whole lot. I don't think either guy's going to run a whole lot. So I may just lean. I think I would lean May just because then I have some wiggle room maybe to start some like home run guys in a pinch. You know what I'm saying? Like if I did fall behind, maybe I put some home run guys in there
Mm-hmm.
after the fact. I mean, put a face on a quarter, and flip them up and down, and it just be like, oh, there's my Jane Daniels. I don't think you're going to go wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
You have a glorious situation, but I think, I mean, I don't, I yeah, as you can tell through me stumbling through the conversation, it seems like a great option either way. I can't argue either way.
Okay, so yeah, I can't really argue either way either. I do think I'll lean Daniels in this scenario just because of the 4-point passing touchdown. I'm like to share. I do think that I would lean May in an instance if that was different for sure. But look, the
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans Saints, and I've said it, I know they're not good, but they definitely aren't letting people just steamroll them, right? Like we've seen them compete against Buffalo. We've seen them beat the Giants, who just beat the Eagles. Like they are a team that's going to give you everything they got. So I don't think that New England's going to come in there and beat them up and take their lunch money or anything like that, as much as they'd
I
want.
love that.
But I will say, go ahead and give me Jaden Daniels by a hair, but that is very close, and that's a good problem to have having both of those guys.
I mean, Dart ran for 55 yards, and if it wouldn't have been for just some, I watched the replay today. If it wouldn't have been for just some stupid bad decisions from a rookie quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
it might have been a blow up game for him.
It could have been.
You know what I'm saying? It could very well have been. You know what I mean? The stupid drop. I mean, that was a rush that he just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And of course they turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah.
It's I mean,
Rookie.
it could have been a big game, but it's rookie stuff, right? So like we could see May blow up, and it could, if he dives in for a touchdown, they're gonna. I you know Bryce, I just don't want you to be like, they told me to start this guy
Yeah.
in, but this guy blew up. So you got, I'll be the outlier. They can say Daniels, I'll say May, and if whichever one you pick, you can blame the other guy for it.
Yeah, it's one
Hey,
A,
I'll
one
take the
B.
load off TJ. If Daniel's fighting tonight, you can blame me.
Share, I love you, man. You're a part of the Dynasty DNA Secret Service. You're the man. But let me
I'll
just say
take
this.
it.
I know you're the man, but no, I think honestly though, it could be a world where if you play either of them, you might get the similar point total. Maybe they both perform well, and
Yeah.
you're so it's
It's a good problem to have, Bryce.
100%, 100%. He also asked, "Do I start Derek or David Montgomery?" So we have Derek Henry, I would believe that is, or David Montgomery.
Yep.
Who you starting there, Teixeira? Because you are the Detroit Lion man. You know this team really well. Do you take Derrick Henry and put him on the bench for Montgomery right now, given the Baltimore Ravens struggles? And don't let Wiz hear you too loudly.
Yeah, I'll keep this one down. I'm gonna start David Montgomery confidently over Derrick Henry. Um, I think if you give David Montgomery any more of a chip on his shoulder, I think he'll punch you in the mouth, and I think that's what's going to happen this weekend against the Chiefs. I think they're going to get punched in the mouth and kicked in the face, and the way they're going to do that is run that power game with David Montgomery, and he's going to probably have a couple touchdowns and fall in the end zone.
Okay. So we weren't too loud to Wiz here. Bob don't care. He knows how him and Wiz go like this. So Bob will be screaming it from the mountaintops. But Bob, I know that you are a king friendly man. I don't know if you would still pull him like Teixeira would at this point. I mean, do you feel any inkling of non-confidence in Baltimore to do that like Teixeira did and put David Montgomery in that spot?
I am with Teixeira here. So, legitimately, I think it's just the offense right now, right? Like, I have zero desire. And Derek Henry is getting phased out of games.
Mm-hmm.
He scores like what anywhere from like 18 to 20 points or whatever when the Baltimore Ravens have the lead, and he doesn't do hardly anything when they don't. And guess what? They don't have. I don't believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I heard that Lamar Jackson's not playing again this week.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be relying on Cooper Rush. I think we talked about that already. It's like, legitimately, like, I don't trust this offense, and they're a walking mash unit. They're not able to get the team off the field, or the defense off the field. They got way too many injuries. Like, I would just soon start David Montgomery on the hopes that it's better than having David Montgomery in that. What's going on with Baltimore right now.
And that's it. Like, I understand. And it's hard, like, and believe me, it's hard to sit a player the quality of Derrick Henry, but like, it's not a Henry problem. It's a Baltimore Raven problem right now. And I don't want to be too loud and spend too much time on it, because Wiz called me last night, very grumpy, very upset. I had a tech problem, and he was like, "What is it? What's wrong?" Like, I knew it's not good right now.
Holy shit!
I mean, I don't know if it's because he's not in the Dynasty Igloo in Alaska, or if it's the Ravens, but like, I got to be his therapist. I got to talk to him this week during the Triple Threat show. If they lose again, it might get real bad.
Man.
So we'll have to see how that goes. But yes, I will go David Montgomery for a lot of the same reasons Bob and Teixeira did as well in that confirmation there. But let's see. Mr. Nice Guy asks, let me ask you guys a trade question. Full point PPR. Okay. I have Josh Jacobs, but lost James Conner. That sucks. I've been there, man. I'm with you. Got Rico for this weekend. That's good. Was thinking of trading Carter for Chase Brown. I think Flacco will help the offense. Teixeira's given a big thumbs up. He talked about this extensively, thinking that it could help Chase Brown with these little dump offs. So and I assume that's Michael Carter for sure. So you traded Michael Carter for Chase Brown right now, and you making that move, Teixeira?
Absolutely smash it. I think the line for the Bengals is not going to have enough time for Burrow to look, or have Flacco look downfield long enough to find Higgins or Chase, and it's going to really cap them. So it's just going to be Chase Brown sitting there with his hands up, either off to either side of the line of scrimmage or just right there in front of the linebacker. And I think that he's going to be the one that's going to feast the most under a Flacco-led offense. And I just don't have any confidence in that Arizona Cardinals running back situation going forward, because it could be just as much of the whole situation where they try to do the guy right and play DeMarcado, even though he did an idiot bonehead move. And they're just like, oh, we just, we find our coach. We're going to give you the ball. And like everything's all nice and sweet again. So that could just be more of a 50-50 situation. I'm just kind of not vibing on the Cardinals offense. I don't know what is in their water going on over there, but it just seems like no one's really like engaged or motivated enough to stay committed to performing well in fantasy.
Yeah, 100%. It's like bad. Like a lot of them don't even seem like they want to be there. But I agree with you, Teixeira. Like I think if anyone could benefit from a Joe Flacco quarterback switch, I think Chase Brown could be that guy. And look, like if they could do anything, if they could just get anything going, we know Michael Carter's just a stopgap. I mean, what happens with Trey Benson? There is still DeMarcado there. Like it's just kind of a stopgappy type player for me. And an offense, like you said, that ain't super exciting or sexy anyway. I would rather take a gamble on Chase Brown at that point. Bob, any difference in opinion before we move on to the next one here?
So this question absolutely lines up with 95% of my philosophy, right? You just get a whole shit ton of running backs. Just keep going and getting them. Don't just stop with trading Michael Carter for Chase Brown. Go get you like 4 other guys off waivers. Anybody that's like the 2 or the 3 right now, because Craig Reynolds, we just talked about Monty. If something happens to Monty, Craig Reynolds is going to be that road grader back for that team. Everybody thinks that Gibbs is just going to go through the moon. Craig Reynolds will still get work, so on and so forth. Don't hesitate to keep getting running backs. But yeah, I would trade for Trace Brown. And I like Teixeira said something about faith in the offense. I ain't got faith in either one of these offenses. Yeah. I think they might both be hot dog water by the end of the day. But it's like you got a lot better shot, I think, with Chase Brown staying in the role with health than you ever will with Carter. Because like we talked about on the deep dive the last time, I think we said Carter if it's road grader games, DeMarcado if it's going to be games when they're behind. And if that's the case, then you don't even know if Carter's going to be the guy every time anyway. So you're better off just getting Chase Brown, who's probably the only dog in the show in Cincinnati. So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you on that. JC Reyes says, evening, fellas. Who should I start at flex? Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, or Jacoby Myers, half-point PPR? So this is half-point PPR. Tony Pollard is the running back. Now, we know Tennessee. That really don't mean much with the Tennessee Titans, let's be honest, because it hasn't been good. But that does make a little bit of a difference, and I appreciate him sharing you guys share the point system of your league. If it's redraft, if it's dynasty, that always helps. So thank you. So it's half-point PPR, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Jacoby Myers. Bob, who you going with on that list there to start in that flex position in a half-point PPR league?
Jacoby Myers, the Raiders are going to be playing behind the whole game because Tennessee's going to kick them in the teeth. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I really wouldn't be surprised because they're both terrible teams. The NFL schedule makers, man, they are so good at this. Like, hey, here's a trash game for you. The only team that is competing for the number 1 overall pick that's left is the Jets. And this is a dog water game. And you got 2 guys from this game. No, all 3 guys are from this game. So you could get a shootout or you could get a 6-3 game.
Yep. And Bob's going Jacoby.
Good luck. I'd take Jacoby Myers.
I'm going my man Jacoby Myers as well. I mean, he is the best player of the 3-2. Let's just be honest. That matters as well, JC. So I think that helps sway that decision for me. And as Bob said, I mean, it could go shootout. It could go low scoring. And if it does, just give me the best player on either team and we'll see what happens. So Teixeira.
Hopefully you don't need a lot of points from that spot.
Yeah. But hey, Jacoby's due for a blow up, man. He is due. My guy.
But even in half PPR, man, that's a little scary. He's going to have to walk into the end zone at least once in half PPR for you to get double digits, I think.
He could visit the end zone. Teixeira, what do you think? Jacoby Myers there with us? You agreeing with us or you going with one of them Titans?
Yep, it's a clean sweep. I'm going Jacoby Myers here. Hopefully you add Cam Scatterbo in your lineup on Thursday night so you have a good 30-point cushion ahead in your matchup, and this won't be a crucial piece of your lineup going into the Sunday's games.
Okay, so Kevin asks, do you think Golden has a big week or no? Really need him to be because my receivers currently are born along with him. That's just a rough situation to be in, Kev. Like, I've been there, man. Like, it's a pig in a poke. You just got to hope and pray. Like, I think the thing is with Golden right now, it's just so hard to trust the whole Green Bay Packer wide receiver room in general. I mean, just we haven't really seen them nail it down to one guy. He is a guy that's talented. He is a guy that has ability, no doubt about it. I think he's just a better dynasty asset than he would be a redraft asset at this point. But there is always that hope that the Cincinnati Bengals are very bad, right? So maybe he gets on the field more. Maybe they include him more doing things. That could definitely happen, or he could bust a big touchdown. But outside of that, I think that's what you got to hope for. I think you got to hope for a lopsided Green Bay victory where he can be involved later in the game, middle part of the game, or a long touchdown where he can maybe get open and bust one. I don't think that you guys have any difference in agreement than with me there on Golden there for the Packers.
I trust no one in Green Bay besides Kraft Singles.
And Josh Jacobs. you got
Josh
you got to trust
sure.
Josh Jacobs, Double J. And it's not the Minnesota version, but what do you what do you think, Teixeira? I mean, do you agree with me? Any difference in opinion? But if you play Golden, I think that's what you got to hope for. Not saying it's going to happen, but I think that's what, if I'm rooting for him to do something, that's what's going to have to be game script or like a big long touchdown breakout type of play.
Yeah, I'm absolutely full lockstep with you. 100% agree on that take. I just think a little call to action here in the Dynasty community. Try to buy low right now if you can on Golden, because I think this, if it's going to happen, it's going to be this game against the Bengals. If he's going to break out, if he's going to have a pop a big one, it's going to be this game. And I can see Jordan Love throwing that ball 60 plus yards to him against one of those defenders. It's in the realm of possibility. And I think coming off the bye week, that having that team another week to refresh and prepare and everything, I think at some point Matt LaFleur is going to have to read the tea leaves and get his rookie that they invested in the first round going and get him some confidence. So if they're going to make a playoff run, I think they're going to really need to rely on him and his catching ability and having his confidence and rapport with Love going forward.
Yeah, 100%. And then we have Bryce saying, I also have Jared Goff, but I'm not too confident with the Chiefs secondary. Yeah, I would definitely play Daniels and May.
Yep.
You know, at this point, I mean, look, and Cher's a Goff guy. He agrees. And Goff's going to be a guy that's a nice, steady hand to have in some situations, right? So I agree. I think we stick with what we talked about there for sure. Kevin says, I'm hearing y'all liking Brown. I traded him for JCM Thursday. Good trade or no? At this point, yes, it's a good trade. I mean, it really is. I mean, look, it isn't just so much as it's Chase Brown. It ain't like these guys can play, but the Bengals offense, the way they construct their team, Bob's talked about it a lot on the Dynasty DNA deep dive. That's a problem. And when you lose Joe Burrow, I mean, that's just it for Cincinnati. That's where we're at. So it ain't good. It ain't good right now at this point. So we got through the questions. No, thank you, Mr. Nice Guy says thank you guys. No, thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody.
We appreciate those questions. You guys subscribing. We got a couple new subscribers tonight. We do appreciate that. Like and share, subscribe, comment. We love to answer questions. But you know, Bob, we got through the starts before you got here. So now we're going to the sits. So we'll let Teixeira go first. Teixeira, we're going to start with the sits as we await more questions here from the DNA Strand crew. Pop it in the chat. We're going to go with the quarterbacks as always. Who's a quarterback that you're sitting down for week 6, Teixeira?
I'm sitting down Kyler Murray. I know we talked about him earlier. I like to lean on the side of caution when it comes to my mobile quarterbacks. If there's any sign of weakness in their mobility and hindrance to their cap of ceiling, what they could do with their performance, because Kyler Murray, to me, is like one of those quarterbacks that relies heavily on his legs to get the majority of his points. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We've seen the evidence to date to what he's been able to capable of. It's just he leads with his legs and then with his arm. And I think that against the Titans, Titan or whoever he's playing the Colts this weekend in Indianapolis, I just don't think it's a good recipe against that defense to have him not as mobile, trying to find Marvin Harrison Jr. out there against that hungry front four of them. I think it's going to be a really capped ceiling. I could see maybe a ceiling of 16 points, but a floor of like 10 to 12.
Yeah, and you know, it's just unfortunate because you talked about the Arizona Cardinals, and Bob, we're going to be doing the culture shock tomorrow night, as always, with Big Culture Bob. And this is a team that might make it because you talk about, you know, it just seems like it goes from bad to worse with Arizona. And look, it's terrible because they have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Like, there are a lot of talented guys on that Arizona Cardinal offensive roster, but just like bad body language, bad vibes, like the whole thing just looks bad, feels bad. And I'm like you, and I think Bob will agree with the injury. You said it, Bob. Kyler Murray, you can't really trust him this week.
Yeah, no. I'm dabbling around in my brain to, we talked about, you guys, I think Teixeira maybe started this on our Wiz or whatever. We kind of did like a culture, like ranking or whatever. And I've been trying to like come up with a formula in my head where I'm like, I don't want to do like just worst franchise, like the franchise, what situation they're in now. And Arizona is like toward the bottom. Like they're handicapped by Kyler Murray. And I don't know that he cares enough to want to be excellent at this sport, or if Call of Duty is just his main love and he's never going to get away from it. I don't know. And like they seem to do really stupid stuff on the football field. And like, I don't know. Like, I think they're at the bottom. They're really close to the bottom just because like they're married to Kyler Murray. And it's like, I don't know if they'll ever have a way out of it. So I don't know if you want me to go on to like my sits or like whatever, but yeah, that's where I feel like I don't trust Kyler Murray. I don't know if he even plays. But yeah, the whole team is kind of.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Bob, and I'm glad you got that in there. So we got a couple more questions coming in, so I'll just keep mine short and sweet so we can answer some more questions here. We love doing this for the Strand crew, and this is why we do this show, to help out. But like, I'm going to sit Trevor Lawrence this week. Look, I am so happy and thankful for what he did. I mean, just showing us a little bit of life, a little bit of attitude, a little bit of swagger, but Seattle's been a tough nut to crack, and we don't want to get Slim too excited because Bob has to deal with them every week. Like, if we get him too excited, he's going to get too fired up, and then Bob's going to have to really try to douse that flame. But the Seattle Seahawks are a team that is playing very tough right now, and I know he took it to the Chiefs. It was just something different about Trevor Lawrence that night. Can he replicate it? Can he do more? Let's hope this is a building block, right? But I'm not going to sit there and push all my chips on red right now, or should I say teal green of Jacksonville after what we've seen, and sit there and do that with confidence. So I think it's going to be a little bit tough sledding. They like to be a team that can run the football and play off the run. I don't think Seattle's going to let them do that. We know they can stop the run. And look, it's just going to be a little bit of a work in progress for this offense. But I will say, happy for the Jaguars. They have played a lot better than what we thought they could. Hasn't been good for the fantasy assets. I know that keeps Bob cranky, but they still have won some games, and they did beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm just going to slow my roll on Trevor Lawrence. I think this could be another famous Trevor Lawrence 16, 15-point game. Maybe they can hang around and win because their defense is pretty good. Jacksonville's.
It's gotten better for sure.
Yeah, maybe they can hang in this game, but I just don't think I can trust Trevor Lawrence. And I give him props because he gave me something that I haven't seen, and that was like him really being competitive, really wanting to win that game and give that killer instinct. But right now I can't trust him. So, and I know you guys agree with me on that, but we do have some questions here. We'll keep engaging with the audience. JC asks, when will Mike Vrabel let go of the leash on Travion Henderson? Over under 5 more fumbles from Ramondre. Look, it hasn't looked good. I mean, like, and like I pick and I jest. Like, you know how I feel about Tomlin and the Steelers and everything like that. Like, if Tomlin's there noticing it, saying knock the ball out, it's not good. Like, everyone knows it, and they're telling everybody, punch at the ball, punch at the ball. And I don't understand it either, JC, why he doesn't, I will say this, though. You look back at the history of Mike Vrabel, when he had Derrick Henry, when he had something that he just doesn't turn the keys over to the cars. Yep. It's something he doesn't do. He builds his team up well, but look, he's really insulated Drake May. And I think that Ramondre right now, even with the fumbles, he is that good meat and potatoes between the tackles guy. And it's good for the NFL perspective, but the fumbles are maddening. And look, you think that we're going to see more of Travion at some point, but they're kind of, winning games and looking good doing it at points. So I guess that, until something really catastrophic happens, they're not going to make changes. But I think that's the main reason, don't you, Bob? Just the fact that I don't think Vrabel just is a rookie-friendly guy too much. I think next year it could be a different story. But as we sit here today, I just don't think he's going to turn the keys over yet.
So in my heart of hearts and my brain theories and all this crap, like I legit think Vrabel is a next level thinking coach. So I think that he probably wanted to take somebody other than Travion Henderson when Travion Henderson was on the board, but he's like, this guy's too talented. We're going to go ahead and take him now, and we're going to put this dude kind of on ice until we've built up the rest of the team. And they have had problems with the other running backs, with Gibson's injury, fumble, Ramondre, whatever, he can't, but he's had that problem before, right? And they just keep running him out there. He had 2 scores after he fumbled. Did he fumble twice like in that game? I mean, yeah, it's like, and he ran 2 in after that, right? It was like, are you serious right now? But so I think Vrabel's plan was to hold Travion on ice for a whole year and just, and he like we said, he did that with Derrick Henry. So I don't know. I think his plan's probably going to get accelerated because obviously you can't just do it with one back. And Gibson getting hurt. I don't. It seems like I saw some other running back come in the game. Who was it? Anybody?
I don't.
I can't remember. I don't remember. But whatever. So it's like, so they're gonna have to give him more carries now. Whether or not I don't think he's a full workload guy anyway. I think we talked about that in the offseason. Travion Henderson is an absolute stud, but he's explosive, not grind out the game. So whether or not Ramondre's the grinded out guy or if they try and give a full workload to Travion Henderson, we're probably not going to be happy about it because he's probably going to get hurt. He's just not built for it, I don't think. So let's not get too excited, but like he should get a lot more work coming up soon, I think.
Yeah, and he's like a wish, like you said, Bob. He's like a wish version of Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Like that's kind of what Travion Henderson is. And the thing is like I'm not knocking his talent because look, even being a wish version of Jahmyr Gibbs is great. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is amazing, but like I think that's how they kind of want to play. They just don't have their Montgomery, but they're kind of utilizing Steve.
I think he's more great value, not wish. That seems terrible. Wish sounds like that's China stuff. Great value's at least Walmart brand. Well, TJ, come on.
Thank you for correcting me, Bob. That's why we have you here tonight. You are the brand connoisseur. That's why. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what's going on. And look, if you have Travion in a dynasty league, I'm still super excited. I think this offense is only going to keep growing. I've said it. I want pieces of the New England Patriot offense going forward. I think that's where you want to put some of your chips. So Travion's still a good piece. And if you do have him in redraft, I'm like Bob. I think later in the season, you might see a little bit more from Travion as well. But to share, I got a question here for you from Caleb. Should I trade Barkley and Worthy for Debo, Waddle, and Monty and Harvey? So he'd be trading Saquon and Xavier Worthy for Debo Samuel, Jalen Waddle, David Montgomery, and RJ Harvey.
He's going to say
no. If you have the buzzer, DJ, as soon as you got to Waddle, I was already just hearing it in my head. It's beep. Like, no, I'm going to keep Barkley and Worthy. I was okay with the Monty. I was liking the Monty part. I was okay with getting Debo. I could tolerate Harvey, but you hit Waddle and I'm out. I want nothing to do with this Dolphins offense. I want nothing to do with their assets going forward. I'm no. I'm keeping Barkley and Worthy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, if it's redraft, Caleb, like my thing on this is we talk about it. Saquon Barkley is the best player in this trade. No doubt about it. From a redraft perspective, and like his presence, what he can do, and he can single-handedly win you a game. Like, that does matter. Now, you are getting a nice package back. No doubt, a lot of players there. But, like, RJ Harvey's a guy I think we're a year early on. I don't think that he's going to be a guy, even when he does kind of grow, be a dominate type force. David Montgomery is a guy that, but he's kind of hit or miss. And you know that, Teixeira, because of the way Gibbs is, the way the Detroit offense is. Waddle, I just don't trust the Miami Dolphins offense. And Debo has played very well for the Commanders, better than even what I expected. But, like, can we trust him to stay healthy for a full 17 games, right? Like, can we trust him to be that guy? And he just hasn't done it. And look, I'm not a big Xavier Worthy guy. Like, he don't even bother me in this trade.
Yeah.
Maybe try to trade Xavier Worthy for like if you're worried about running back depth and you need more, if you have good receiver depth, you need more running backs. Maybe try trading Xavier Worthy for a running back, right? Just see
Could
what's
you
out
do it for Monty straight up?
I mean, maybe depending on who has who, but I
Yeah.
doubt that. That might be a little bit rich. I know Worthy's kind of banged up again, but wait till he like. My thing is with Worthy. Wait till he has one of them games where he
Yep.
has that best bally explosion, and people get really excited. Then you can move him and maybe get a guy, if you're trying to look for more depth as well. So, but I think I hold on to Barkley and Worthy as well at that point. So we have Jacob asking here, Bob, which one do I leave on the bench? Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Alvin Kamara. So if you had to bench one of them guys this week, who's it going to be and why? And it's going to be Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Alvin Kamara.
My gut says Alvin Kamara, but my brain's telling me, man, DJ Moore has done little to jack. Like he's just not doing a whole lot. I mean, Caleb's got eyes for Roma Dunze, and that's about it. It seems like I'm just not a fan of what DJ Moore's doing this year. Maybe we had higher expectations because we just assumed he would be the dog or whatever there. But I rewatched the Saints game today, and Kamara just looked slow to me in comparison to what he had been before. He got a lot of targets still, though, so maybe I'm just a little ageist there or something. I don't know, but I think I'm sitting DJ Moore.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of guys here that are kind of in that gray area for me as well. Look, I don't have a good feeling about the Steelers going up against the Browns. Like, I don't. Like, I mean, like, I couldn't blame you if you wanted to pull DK Metcalf, Jalen Warren. But, like, my thing is with Warren, I think there's going to be enough little dump downy type stuff for pass catching to help provide some points there. But DK Metcalf's one of them guys that could be boom or bust too, man. I love DK Metcalf. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to watch, like, if you're like into the Roman Coliseum of like lions going after people and stuff like that, watch Myles Garrett on Broderick Jones this week. You'll really enjoy that. You're going to get to see something because Broderick Jones is absolutely terrible, and I don't think we'll have a plan to stop him. And you want to talk about take the under of the Steelers Browns game, take the under because it's going to be really low. It's going to be really sloppy. So I think I'm going to agree with you, Bob, on the DJ Moore call out, but I'm just saying I don't hate even sitting down DK Metcalf this week because I just don't have a good feeling about it.
Well, it's like before we started back on the questions or whatever, my two sits would have been Gabriel and Aaron Rodgers. Like I don't know that this game is going to score a whole lot of points. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to get the ball out quick. That's really not DK's game, but he can do it. It's just not as much who he is. But you're not wrong. Garrett could end Rodgers' career this week. I mean, I doubt it, but he could.
Well, I mean, he could have the single game sack, record too, because I'm telling you right now, Broderick Jones is terrible. Like I said about DM Moore, Broderick Jones is next in line there. So, but I think with DK, the only thing that would make me keep him in over DJ Moore is the fact that there isn't a lot of other great target competition there. And if they can get him the ball, they will. So I do think that I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, I mean, even Mr. Nice Guy says leery about starting Rodgers against Cleveland defense.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And I'm worried about Q as RB1 for you because we can't stop a nosebleed. And that guy is just a tank. And you know how I feel about Q as well. But Bob gave his quarterback sits. He said Dylan Gabriel and Aaron Rodgers.
Love it.
He's not playing either of them this week. I can appreciate that, Bob. As we await more questions coming in, let's go to the running backs. To share a running back, you're going to be sitting down here for week 6. Who is it?
I'm going to pound the table so people can hear me. And finally, Andy Reid, Chiefs, stop putting Pacheco out there. Give us somebody else. I got one. Brashad Smith. My God, it is painful to watch Isaiah Pacheco run. Like, it was cute and fun the first year or two. Like, oh, wow, look at this guy. Look at he looks like Fred Flintstone out there. Now it's just irritating, annoying, and a hindrance in our fantasy lineups. Like, I don't see a world this weekend of him getting double digits. And because Kareem Hunt in the picture and Brashad Smith up and coming, I think that if the Chiefs want to be able to catch the Lions off guard this weekend, get Brashad Smith and keep Pacheco off the field. Like, it's just, I'm done. I'm out. He's toast. He's a 7th-round pick for a reason. He's Mr. Relevant as far as running back goes, and that's how it should be. And just please just get him out of here. It's just, I can't watch it anymore, TJ. It's too hard.
It's like my eyes. I know it's terrible, man. And like, we talked about it. I know a lot of people were critical of me saying sell Kenneth Walker, sell Isaiah Pacheco, but this is why. And like, we're going to see, I think, even more of a shift in the running back pool this year from a fantasy football perspective. Like, this is going to be it for Pacheco as far as any value goes, in my opinion. Maybe he goes somewhere as a decent complimentary back, but he won't be anything better than that. And that's even like Kenneth Walker. Does Seattle really bring him back? Because, like, to me, like, he hasn't done anything to sit there and say, yeah, go ahead and pay that guy big money, right? Like, he's just been that average Kenneth Walker, as we always seen. He had like one good run against the Steelers and everyone got super excited. Like, everyone's running against the Steelers at this point. So it's unfortunate. Now, Bob, I'm going to come to you. You have a running back for us to sit in week 6.
So my problem isn't so much that I want to say sit these guys because it's an impossible situation, but you absolutely need to curb all your enthusiasm for Bijan Robinson and Brees Hall. Brees Hall not so much, but Bijan for sure. He just go. I mean, we're going up against the Bills defense, and while we were talking about New England last week, that whole team I don't think ran 100 yards against them. Now, it's New England, it's a different team, but I just think that you're going to curb your enthusiasm. I'm not saying that you're not going to sit Bijan. I wouldn't sit Bijan. And even though I'm talking out of the side of my mouth, I'm just like, you're not going to get what you hope for from Bijan this week. You're just not.
Okay.
So
well, that's just being realist, though, Bob. And it's good that you talk about that because sometimes, and I get it, like, you have to play those players, like you said. You just have to. Like, I mean, they're just like between injuries, the fact that they are your best player, but like you're saying, like, you're flipping a coin. The percentage as far as them being a little more disappointed is a lot more heavy than it is being super successful this week. And I agree with you on that.
Right. And then Brees Hall just going up against the Denver defense. I think the Denver defense is pretty good. I just don't see that really being a fun game for if you got Brees Hall. So if you could sit Brees Hall, I don't think that I would even hesitate. I don't know who you're going to start ahead of him. I think this is going to be a real low running back week unless you get one of these guys that's like JCM. And I mean, I'm not just trying to toot that dude's horn or whatever, but that against the Bears defense, again, Ashton Genty looked awesome against them. So,
or the guy I said go buy for a pair of socks this offseason, Rico
Daddle.
Yeah, that guy, he looks good, and he's got a revenge game coming on here against Dallas. So,
those are some nice socks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, man, I'd give him 2 pair for Rico at this
Bombas or whatever, the ones that you hear advertised.
They'd even match at this point. But let's go now to this guy that I'm going to be starting. Kenneth Walker the Turd. I brought him up.
You mean sitting, because I know you ain't starting no Kenneth Walker.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say you're starting him. Give him the buzzer.
I was just trying to get you guys make sure you're paying attention. You do a good job. Yes, I am sitting Kenneth Walker the Turd this week, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. We talked about it. This unit is a surprise. This unit looks good. And man, oh man, I just think that there's going to be another, and Bob said about it, and he's right. Like, this is going to be a really tough game or week for running backs. And I think this is another guy that's going to suffer that. He's probably going to give you a running back 2-ish type finish. I just don't see good things for Kenneth Walker the Turd this week. So go ahead and sit him down. Hopefully you sold him this offseason like we talked about from a dynasty perspective. We have a couple questions coming in. Kyle asks, are you starting Taysom Hill tomorrow? No, I'm not. No, I'm not, Kyle. It's just it's too early yet. It's too early yet. And the New England Patriots are a team that's getting better. Like, I mean, I know they still have their deficiencies, but like, if anyone knows, like, I mean, Mike Vrabel knows these like tricky type players too. Like, he knows, like, I don't know how to like express my like thoughts on this, but like, he's kind of dealt with guys like that. He kind of, like, I don't see him really coming in and affecting the Patriots too much. And it is his first game back from injury. And look, he suffered a pretty serious injury there. And I don't really expect him to be anything too involved. And I don't think that you guys disagree any on that. Just real quickly, yes or no? Any disagreement?
What do you start him at? What, like, where? Like, if you got dog water tight ends and you need, a miracle,
Mm.
okay. But I wouldn't do it. I mean, I would prefer not to. I'd rather start Tonjes McBasketball. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
the thing is though, I could see like being tempted to do something like, as you know how it is, like injuries are piling up, and then you got bye weeks this week, and some rosters
Mhm.
are thin. So like it's okay to like say, should I, like, if it's the best you have and you can't pick anyone off the waiver wire, I have no problem with it. But like I just can't play him. I just don't see him doing much, unfortunately. I mean, we'll see. Couple games in, maybe he'll get involved more, do a little bit, and then you can have a little bit more confidence in just trying to get one of them spike games out of Taysom Hill that he can maybe provide. But I don't see it happen in this game. We got Frozen Gaming asking, I got 3 players injured on my bench. I feel you there. Need a
Damn.
waiver wire pickup. Was leaning towards either getting Sterling Shepard or Tez Johnson. Not sure which Tampa Bay wide receiver is the best option. I also have Baker too. So, okay, so if you had to pick up one of them Tampa guys, if it's me, I'm going to get Shepard. Like that, if I'm looking at them too, give me Shepard. I don't think I'm going to put my faith that much in a rookie like Tez Johnson. I watched the film on the guy. I just didn't love it. Like I think he's a guy that just really isn't an NFL-ish type player. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. Tampa Bay makes a lot of these receivers look good. I mean,
Mhm.
they do a good job developing them, picking them. Like they are an organization that has success there. But Sterling Shepard, if he's healthy, is a guy that can provide for you. And I think Baker Mayfield will look his way a little bit. He's a veteran guy that can still get open. And I know they're dealing with injury. So if I was picking up one of those 2 guys frozen, I'm going to go with Sterling Shepard. Bob, any difference in opinion from you?
no, with all the injuries that the Bucks have right now, I just would lean Shepard between those two. I don't. I mean, if never mind. There's not even any real analysts. I mean, like, I don't even know if Tez Johnson's caught more than 3 balls this year, and Sterling Shepard tends to get peppered when he's in a specific role. Now, it doesn't usually amount to a whole lot of points, but yeah, I just Shepard's probably the better way to go.
Better veteran presence. Do you agree with that, Tashera? Any difference in opinion really quickly there?
No, no difference in opinion. Bob really capped it off there on the head. Just to clear some clarification, Johnson is the special team role. He's got the third down, gadgety kind of utility player, so he's not getting a lot of snap percentage. Where Shepard's going to be out there like probably about 87% of the snaps. He's going to be that chain mover, that confidence guy for Baker, and I think he's going to be relied upon pretty heavily if Ibuka's getting the double coverage.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Nice Guy said about Torrey Horton. Look, if he's out there, yeah,
Oh,
I will pick him up because look, I mean, he's a guy that could pop for you. I think it's a little boomer busty type play, right? But like, I don't mind that over like them Tampa Bay guys. Like, it just
mm-hmm.
depends on the quality of players that are available, right? Like, if that's the best of the best though, right now, and him having Baker, I don't mind the Sterling Shepard call out. If I had to take one of those guys, I'm definitely taking Shepard. But yeah, if a Horton's out there, if maybe a better options out there, depending on what's on the wire, go for it. And like, we can always talk about that too. But let's go into the receiver sits for week 6 Tashera. Who are you sitting down here for week 6?
Yeah, for week 6, sit me down, Keon Coleman. I just think that that the Bills aren't going to have to throw a whole lot against these Falcons, and they're not going to rely out of the wide receivers. I don't think it's going to be relied upon on Keon. I think it's going to be a Khalil Shakir show. I like what I've seen out of him the last couple of games, him and his connection with Josh Allen, and I just think that Keon is just getting lost in the sauce here. It's a James Cook, Josh Allen show for the most part, and I think Shakir is just still at the top of the pecking order as far as guys that Allen's confident in throwing the ball to and must catch situations. I mean, if you really need to start up because you need that big play threat, cool, throw that dart throw. But I'm not confident in any format, in any situation, any position, putting him in my lineup this week.
Yeah, and we talk about the Buffalo offense being hit or miss, right? And like they're another one. You really can't trust the receiver room too much. Khalil Shakir is a guy that I don't feel bad about flexing ever. Like he's a guy that can get you that
Mm-hmm.
10 to 12 points usually. Like he's maybe the guy that can rise above it, but anything outside of that, it's anyone's guess at times, right? So like I really like that call out as well to share as we let Bob ponder here. I'm going to do this one for him because I know he's going to like this. I might even steal his guy this week. I'm going to be sitting down T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, look, this could be a situation where Cincinnati gets down a lot of points. Maybe there is some garbage time, but we can't always sit here and say that's definitely going to happen, right? And like we got Joe Flacco coming in who's not mobile at all. We got a terrible Cincinnati offensive line. We got guys like Parsons and Gary and people like that that are going to be coming around the edge. And I just don't think it's going to end well for this Cincinnati Bengals passing attack this week. I just don't have the confidence in playing them at all. And look, if you have some of these Cincinnati guys we talked about, it's tough. You just got to ride through the waters right now in Dynasty. And if it's redraft, might have cost you your season. It sucks. But when you lose Joe Burrow, Cincinnati lost everything. Some teams can kind of wade through the water a little bit, but he is the only thing that can keep all these fantasy assets relevant on Cincinnati. And it just ain't going to happen this year. So, Bob, I know you like that. We'll go to your receiver sit down here. Did I steal your guy, or are you thinking of someone else?
Well, actually, I thought that was too obvious. I like higher hanging fruit in the tree than you, TJ. I know how you like to just knock them off with your hand and get them really easy.
Right. That looks really good.
No, that's right. That's right. And like I was looking at Quentin Johnston, and I'm like, man, that might be too easy too, because a hamstring injury for a guy that relies on his speed. And it's just a game where, and he's been balling this year for who he is, but I think I'm gonna, and just stay away from Chris Olave. That's the guy I'm gonna say this week too. Yeah, he's the target hog on that team, but Christian Gonzalez is a stud defensive cornerback, and more than likely he'll be on Olave most of that time. And they've got some history together, I believe, because weren't they on the same college team? So I'm sure that they're probably know each other a little bit, and there'll be some jaw jacking. And I think Gonzalez has his number.
Yeah, definitely like the sit there, Bob. It was definitely more creative than me. Like I said, I just can't help myself. I'm an attention hog. I like to look good.
You do a good job of it.
Oh, thank you. Whenever I manipulate like you and Slim and Mike and Wiz, kind of fight each other on the show. I never do that. But let's go into. We have another question here from Ruben here. Should I flex Ladd, Swift, or Michael Pittman? 8-man league, full PPR. Now, let me just say, I will start with this one. Michael Pittman, the man, number 11 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, the Indianapolis Colts. Bob's guy, Indiana Jones. I love me some Michael Pittman. Look, I do agree it's getting better for Ladd, just based off the fact that I think what's happening is now that the Chargers tackles are out, I think they're trying to get the ball out a little bit quickly, a little bit faster. I think that benefits a player like Ladd McConkey. Herbert don't have as much time as he did to look down the field. But at this point, Michael Pittman is that target hog outside of Tyler Warren. I know he gets his, but Michael Pittman's good for a touchdown a game, it seems like. He's the old Michael Pittman again, that back end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2, TJ jacket holder, guy I love. Happy he's back. Wiz and Mike, eat it, because you guys made fun of me when I wanted to pull I said, I want to put him on that show. They're like, oh, yeah, Michael Pittman. I'm like, you wait and see. He's back again. So give me some Michael Pittman there, Ruben. I feel confident in that guy, and I think that Ladd and Swift are just be a little bit too hit or miss. Give me the more consistent player in Michael Pittman, Bob. Any disagreement there from your Indiana home?
I think I would rank them Pittman, Ladd, Swift. I think you're right with Ladd, and like I just said something about Johnston. So like Ladd should have more opportunity this week. Pittman is ironically he's not even the leading yardage receiver for the team, but he is due. I mean, he's having a good year so far, and I do like what Indiana Jones is doing. And I think that playing against the Cardinals leans me more towards Pittman. So yeah, I can't disagree.
Yeah, the matchup's really appetizing as well. Any difference in opinion to share? I think that's how I would rank them too, the way Bob had them for sure. Pittman, Ladd, Swift. Any difference in opinion from you?
Not at all. You guys nailed it all on the head. They're all good points, all accurate, and I agree with every single one of them. I just think that we need to get this warehouse fired up and rolling out these jackets, because Michael Pittman, keep him on it.
He's gonna go broke.
That's okay, because when they produce success, that looks good for the network, looks good for my team. I will pay to have them shipped out there, no doubt about it. Now, let's talk about some tight end sits, and I know maybe we're Bob's cruise.
Oh man, start with Bob.
We'll start with the sheriff first. We'll let it just mellow out.
Okay, we'll let him stew. We'll let him stew.
That's right. So, Teixeira, who's the tight end that you're going to be sitting down on your bench here for week 6?
Yeah, don't get cute with it this week, guys. You know, they're coming off the bye week. You think, oh, yeah. No, you're not starting Colson Loveland or Holcomb. Keep them out of your lineups. Keep all those Bears bench. The Commanders will take care of them. We'll handle them this week. It'll be business as usual, and keep those guys on your bench. They're garbage.
So let me say this. Teixeira said that it was all blurry, but I know I can already decipher who it is. Don't start the Bears tight ends. That's what he's telling you. Don't start Cole Kmet. Don't start Colston Loveland. He's saying sit him on your bench. He's not believing it, and I know Bob could appreciate that as well. So no, this is like this, Teixeira. Like, you didn't even need a translator there. I knew I could just decipher him. Like, that's who he's going with. It's the Bears he's sitting down this week.
Poor guy sounded like he had a trach there for a minute. Like,
so, Bob, is there any guesses? And I believe that there's a tight end that's in the southern part of the United States that you want to talk about here for a couple minutes.
Yes, I'm not gonna. I would not start Kyle Pitts, and I think it was funny because like I seen this thing on Twitter or whatever, and it was like Kyle Pitts is tied in 11 points per game this year, and I'm like, he was a number 4 pick in the draft, and we're excited now that he's the 11th best tight end. I don't care about any tight end past like 5. Like, seriously, like, what are we talking about, Kyle Pitts? And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe the matchup. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, they're playing the Bills. Well, Hunter Henry's been balling this year, and Hunter Henry had 46 yards total against the Bills. So it's like, nah, that just tells me right there that Kyle Pitts ain't going to do crap against Buffalo either. So it's like, yep, Kyle Pitts out. And he only averages like 39 yards against the rest of the league anyway. So sorry, Slim. Kyle Pitts sucks.
Oh, and wait a minute. He ain't playing Tampa Bay right this week.
That's right. He's not playing Tampa Bay. So
he's off Bob's radar automatically. If Tampa Bay is on the schedule, you don't get one of them games, one of them two, he's off the list for sure. So I love everything what you said, Bob. It is going to be a tough matchup, too. I know you love taking your shots.
I hear him keep going about Pitts. This is awesome.
Yes. About Slim and Kyle Pitts, he gets that in, no doubt about it. But let's go ahead and go over to my tight end sit here for this week. And it's going to be a guy that the honeymoon's a little bit over, in my opinion. It's going to be Juwan Johnson and New Orleans Saints. Look, I mean, this was a guy that was really touchdown dependent through the first couple weeks. Everyone was just like going crazy over it. Like, I knew it was something that wasn't going to last. He is a guy, that, can get some targets in that offense, no doubt, but he is such a like best bally up and down type of guy. And he's coming up against the New England Patriots this week. And it isn't a good matchup going up against New England from a fantasy perspective. I mean, they've just been killing tight ends. And, the fact that Shaheed, Kamara, now we see, I know he's probably not going to do much, but Taysom Hill's back. Like, there's just more and more people that I think that can do things with the ball. And it's just a touchdown or nothing with Juwan Johnson. That's what you're shooting for. Like, if you don't get it, you're probably going to be disappointed. And I don't really love the matchup against New England. So
Kincaid did have over 100 yards against New England last week. Now that's not
he is
Johnson or Kincaid, but it's
and he is like a hybridy type guy.
Yes.
That's the thing. I mean, really against a lot of other tight ends, and they've done well. So I don't love the Juwan Johnson play. But let's talk the Dabble Fantasy start of the week and the Dabble Fantasy sit of the week here, brought to you by Dabble Fantasy. Dabble Fantasy sponsors Dynasty DNA, up-and-coming daily fantasy app, all kinds of great stuff over there. Pick'ems, higher, lowers, first-time users. Use the promo code DNA4, and as a first-time user, they'll give you $10 in free play just to try it out, so you can't beat that. Use that promo code DNA4 over at Dabble Fantasy. Get your dabble on like all of us here at Dynasty DNA. But here we go to share a Dabble Fantasy start of the week. Who's it going to be this week?
Oh man, you hear that? It's a train coming. It's the Q train. Give me some Quinshawn Junkins, Dabble Fantasy Star of the Week for me.
You know what? I can really appreciate it. I mean, even a Steelers fan, like I
I
love
know, I
hearing,
know.
I love hearing it. Like we're gonna get some of them signs made. We're gonna hang them up around Mike's house. Like for Halloween, I want to take them out and put them all through Mike's yard. Forget about egging his house. Forget about toilet papering Mike's house. I'm gonna put up all these signs that say Q is RB1 for you
Hell yeah.
all through his yard so he could see it and remember what we talked about. I love giving Mike a hard time about that. He's just dreading every week whenever Quinshawn plays. He's like, oh God, here we go. But
And if they can't stop a nosebleed, they're not stopping Q.
that's right. Exactly, Tashira. And I agree. And that, look, as a Steelers fan, it is upsetting, but I think we're headed down that road. So we're going to come over to my Dabble Fantasy start of the week, and we'll let Bob have a second more to ponder over who he wants. But I am going to do this for Bob, and I know he's going to appreciate it. But I do think he's going to have a really good game this week. He has been playing extremely well. It's Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones,
Ooh.
going up against the Arizona Cardinals. We talk about culture. We talk about a team. Look, when the Tennessee Titans beat you, and Teixeira and Wiz and all the guys on the network on the Dynasty DNA morning show, I said, I think Tennessee can hang around this game against Arizona. They're all like, oh, if you're so confident, why don't you pick them? I'm like, okay, I will pick them. I will pick the Titans. And they ended up winning the game. That's bad culture, as Bob says. That is very bad culture. So I will take Indiana Jones in this matchup. We got to hurt Kyler Murray. I think the Colts have a chance to steamroll here again. So I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Jones gives us another top 10-ish type finish here this week, rushing, throwing, going up against the AZ Cardinals of the desert. Now, Bob, Dabble Fantasy start of the week. Who are you going to pull out of your hat?
So I'm going to take the lowest hanging fruit, and I'm just going to say Emeka Ibuka. Like I can't even fathom that this dude's not. I'm sorry. He's doing everything anybody wanted him to do, and like triple that. Like I thought he was going to be good. We were doing the draft show, and I was like, maybe they're just thinking a little more next level and just being prepared for when these guys fade away. I thought they would fade away, not injure themselves out of the dang league. Like Emeka Ibuka's like, I'm just going to take all y'all's lunch money. Just give me, I'm going to go ahead and take all this Mike Evans money. I'm going to go ahead and take all this Chris Godwin money. And it's right now he's earning it and then some. And Baker Mayfield is absolutely in love with him. And I'm great. I'm cool with that. And then like, you want another one? Throw Cade Otton on that mix because right now for a tight end streamer start, like Cade Otton's looking real good right now. And when the other guys are out, we talked about Sterling Shepard, but Cade Otton's probably the number 2 target on this team. And then the running backs, I think, probably filters down before even Sterling Shepard. But I think this game is going to be hot, a lot of points being scored, I think, by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bob. That's a good point. We talked about flexing tight ends, right? Like, I have no problem doing it. It's worked for me in a lot of instances when you got Hunter Henrys, you got Jake Ferguson's, you got some of these big tight ends. Like, I have a roster that has, Trey McBride, Hunter Henry, and Jake Ferguson right now. So it's like I can plug and play any of them guys, and I usually have pretty good confidence whenever I have to put them in. And, we love to do that with when we're having these injuries and bye weeks because sometimes you just have to make decisions like that. Teixeira, got our Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week for week 6. Who's it going to be this week? Who's going to be the one that gets the dunce hat put in the corner for you this week for Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week?
I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to whisper again. Mark Andrews. We're sitting Mark Andrews. I'm sorry, Wiz. I think he has the potential to absolutely goose this week. I just don't see a world of Cooper Rush at quarterback, the struggling of the running game, and the Rams are a good secondary. They play the tight ends well. Outside of last week against Tongues, that was an anomaly for them. But I just, I hate to see it because I love the guy. I love him, but it's just not. It's not showing up this year. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Teixeira. It definitely isn't looking good. Very rarely do I do this for my Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week, but I'm going to stay in the same game. I'm sitting the entire Arizona Cardinal running back core going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Like, I mean, we've seen DeMarcado with the fumble. What's his usage going to be? Like, it just wasn't good. We talk about a team that's deflated that just kind of, to me, I think, give up on their coach. Like, I think the coach and the team are at a disconnect. I think the quarterback's at a disconnect. We know Michael Carter's a guy that's just like 2-3 yards in a cloud of dust. And if the Colts start pounding on them, what kind of ceiling do these guys really have? Right? Like, I mean, I don't think there could be a huge ceiling there.
I just got an alert on my phone. Jacoby Brissett is expected to start for the Cardinals this Sunday.
Well, there you go. So, I mean,
I'll
maybe
take Kyler Murray.
yeah, so it could go even bad for worse for the Cardinals right now going up against the Colts. So, I mean, I do think that maybe a quarterback change at this point might, do something because maybe Jacoby will come out and want to play hard, but I don't believe in this offense whatsoever. I'm not starting either of them guys, and I don't feel good about it if I had to play either of them. Bob, Dabble Fantasy Sit of the Week. Who's it going to be for Big Culture?
So first off, we forgot about the Jacoby Brissett revenge game narrative,
Yeah.
right?
Come on, Teej.
Yeah, come on now.
I know, I get my stuff together.
Yeah, no. I think that you're probably right on par. I'm gonna sit Garrett Wilson if I can afford to, like going up against the Denver defense, and Patrick Surtain is not good news, and I just. Man, we all know I'm a Fields guy, but this is a game that I would have put on. I would have put at the beginning of the year, even with the highest of hopes that they would lose this game, and they're 0-5. I think that I'm with Teixeira. I think that it doesn't bother me if they go 0-10, 0 whatever at the end of this year. If they lose every game, I still think they could have Fields and right the ship next year, but it's going to be uphill battle for them, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the old Wilson on ice if I can.
All right, so Bob is hesitating on the New York Jets. I don't blame him right now. I think you'd be crazy if you wouldn't hesitate at this point. So I'm with you, Bob. I don't blame you whatsoever for sitting down any Jets. And we talked about it. You look at their schedule. You can't sit there and say confidently there's a game that they could for sure be favored in at this point. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to win a game, but there's a chance maybe they don't. I mean, you just don't know as bad as this team is. So we'll see where it's at. But love the episode, guys. Appreciate the support as always. The questions, everyone tuning in, doing it live. This has been such a better format doing it this year with Teixeira, having guests in like Bob and Wiz and different people coming in and joining us. We appreciate that. It's been a great show. YouTube support's been phenomenal. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you guys are enjoying the content, want to listen to more of the podcast, go over to the podcast network, Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, any of the big podcasting platforms. We're all over there. You could check out, we do 3-4 shows a week, Dynasty DNA Deep Dive, Triple Threat. We have from Whistle to Whistle, Stardom Sit 'em Saturday, all kinds of different stuff like that. So make sure you go over there and check it out and join us over there. Bob, any closing words here before we close out the show?
I just want you guys what do you think Ashton Genty does tomorrow? I'm literally, Wiz is banking on these bad defense games. What's Ashton Genty do tomorrow?
Well, Teixeira says he's going to have a big day. Teixeira likes
it's right there, TJ.
Teixeira likes it tomorrow, but I listen. It's like this. Like, if there's going to be a game, it's going to have to be this one, right? So we're going to see. We're going to find out. Now, everyone knows that the Raiders can't throw the football, so they've had
if he busts, you got to be ruthless tomorrow. If he busts,
dude, I don't know if I could drive the bus over that dude any more times. Poor Slim's going to have a stroke. I was legit. We were okay. So, not that I was thinking about this and I said, man, there was when we did some of the players to the wide receiver, buy sells or whatever. I remember Slim talking about selling Puka Nacua, and I'm like, dude, Puka's blowing up this year. And it was who was it? Of course, he's so high on Genty, he's so high on Pitts. I'm like, man, poor Slim. And it's I don't even know if mine were hits. I just remember how bad Slim's misses were. So it's whatever.
Giving them a hard time. We love it. We love it. But now, like I said, guys, if you can, tune with us on the podcast. We have a lot of fun over there. You can listen to those episodes as well. And we will be trying to post more clips up here on YouTube. And if you can, get over there to Facebook, join the Facebook page, Dynasty DNA Podcasting Network. Teixeira's been working hard on that. It's been a great platform. The Discord, if you want to join the Discord, always great discussion there. We will leave you guys a link. Just ask for it. We can put it in the comments of the YouTube. Love to have you over there as well. I know I speak for Teixeira, Bob, everyone here at the Dynasty DNA Network when I say we hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend ahead of you here. Good luck in all your Week 6 matchups. Tomorrow we will be live for the Dynasty DNA morning show. So join us for that as we talk everything Week 6, take some more start-sit questions, and help you guys the best we can. But until then, have a nice night, and we will see you all on the next episode of Start